Hi everyone and welcome back to SunBurst Tarot, where today I wanted to take a look at the conspiracy theories surrounding Emperor Nero from the Roman Empire. So Nero, and in his time, is known as a kind of a bad boy, but also someone who kind of really bucked a lot of traditions within the Roman Empire itself. He's kind of known for being a tyrant, but also loved by his people, but like not really good. A very polarizing figure in history. There's also the theory that weird conspiracy theory, or just maybe not that weird, of Nero, potentially like staging his own death to be able to go live out the rest of his life peacefully after he allegedly took his own life, and kind of was then kind of like that ended his reign as emperor. So there's theories out there that he actually might have survived. So I wanted to take a look at it, look at this historical conspiracy, as well as a few other things, and see like who was Nero, and has history been rewritten to show him as this horrible, horrible person? And was he truly that person, or was he actually more known as like a person who was connecting with the people, and there were other things going on behind the scenes? So without further ado, I want to get into the reading and kind of look at this historical bad boy conspiracy theory. So just a quick few reminders. Just remembering that everything that I'm going to be looking at and sharing is going to be my own opinion, not facts. Really, this is all just alleged and for entertainment purposes only. So just wanting to have some fun here and look at a very, very old historical figure who was polarizing in his day and has kind of some mysteries or conspiracies surrounding him here in the modern day. Stop that. And what I'm going to be using here today is the Musician's Tarot. This is a new one that I've gotten, and I really, really am liking. So let's just dig into it. Oh my goodness. Cards are kind of flying all over the place here. And I'm kind of just like picking up a little bit here, just with like how the cards are shuffling and they're going all over the place. I'm definitely feeling that there is some it's rocky, but also like things are messy and complicated, because the cards can also, like, the energy around them can have a lot to do with kind of around the situation. So the first thing I want to look at is the big question. Was Nero, like, did he live on past his alleged when he allegedly took his own life? So at the center of it all, the Fool, living. Interesting. So it's like we're going on this next big adventure. It's the Fool, but also like we're kind of like going to the next thing, doing things without maybe thinking too much. Okay. We have the Two of Coins. We're making a decision. We're balancing the two decisions out. I'm seeing like some scales in my head. And the Queen of Wands. It's like I'm reading over my own peace of mind here. Interesting. Nine of Coins. The legacy that I'm living behind. I've made it. I've done the things that I've wanted to do. Ace of Wands. It's like new directions, new paths. The Judgment card, like I'm being gone after for my own stuff. And then the Five of Swords. It's like coming back from a decision that I've made. What? What? It's like we're going on this new decision. We're going on this new path. We're doing different things. We're trying out we're making new decisions. We're going on a new path. We have the Ace of Wands down here, which is like, we're going on an adventure, adventure, adventure. And the Nine of Coins is like, we're doing different things. Ten of Cups, it's like we're having fun. And then the Ten of Swords. Okay, allegedly conspiracy. This is how many thousands and thousands of years ago. I'm not seeing anyone passing. I'm not seeing anyone like okay, at the time of like his alleged death. Like he took his own life. I'm not seeing that. With the Fool here, it's like, yes, we're starting on a new path, a new journey, a new decision we've made. It was like the difficulty was, the challenge was, we have to make this decision. What's going for them? It's like, but I have these new plans and ideas. I'm having a lot of judgment from other people. There's individuals who like have different ideas that they don't like me for. And here with the Ten of Cups, though, is it like, interesting. It's like people feel happy with what I've been doing. There's been a backstabbing or betrayal, but here with the Nine of Coins, it's like I'm happy. I'm single. I'm still out living my best life. What? Okay, so I'm not seeing his death. I'm not seeing his passing. And that was like kind of specifically looking at like, did he go or did he stay? What? So, like, is there some credence to this conspiracy theory? I'm not seeing him passing, is the thing. I'm not seeing, like, okay, so, like, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye a little bit is that, like, it's like, I did something and now I'm running away, so you cannot get me because, this is, like, it's like the start of something new. Like, we're going down a different path. Okay, so oh my gosh. So he's definitely, it feels like in my mind, like, I don't know if, like, when his, like, alleged passing was when he allegedly passed. Like, in my brain, and like what I'm seeing, it's like, ha 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 ha, I am going on a new adventure. I'm starting something brand new. And you guys aren't coming along for the ride for it. Like I got backstabbed, I got betrayed, but like what's going for me is that like I have, it's like there were allies in his midst as well as enemies. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a closer look here of like the progression of like of our emperor here as he's kind of like, after his alleged passing, what happened? What was he doing? Where was he? Like, man, what was going on? Seven of Coins. I'm starting something new. Like, I'm watching the things that I've planted come to fruition. We have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, he has an ally here. There's the Four of Cups. It's like, it feels like there's like a relationship of some sort that kind of like, that like he went along with or went in with or like helped him like put the pieces together to kind of get out of a situation that like wasn't for him anymore. There's the Justice cards. It's like, what's fair is fair. Like we got justice for what we've done. Two of Wands energy. It's like, interesting. And the Ace of Swords. Okay, okay, so with the Ace of Swords here, it's like justice is served. One with the Justice card, it's like, but then there's this Two of Wands. It's like we're recognizing the deeds. I'm also, like, okay, so, oh my gosh. Okay, so in my head, what I'm seeing here, it's like, so after his passing, what some would call, I don't see him passing. I see him kind of getting away and not being. Yeah, it felt like he has an ally of some sort that maybe got him out of a situation and he was able to kind of disappear. But here it's like he still has influence in some way, shape, or form with the Justice card here. But with that Ace of Swords, it's like, oh, you have influence, your words, your might, you have power to still influence how things are being done. And then with the Two of Wands here, like what's coming to my mind is like, we're manifesting, we're doing different things, like we're recognizing a dream, or we're like we're trying to put out a new dream or something different. But then also down here now with the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Page of Cups, it's like we're coming in to try and influence something. We're trying to make something better. Like we've walked away from something. We have the Page of Cups is like we're all, so like originally you were happy, now we have to walk away, and now here's this new thing that I want you to kind of come bring in with. What in the world? Then there's a Tower. Everything's kind of crumbling down. With the Two of Coins, like we have to make new decisions. Like things kind of, we had to leave for everything. And then there's a Ten of Swords. Like we're still getting backstabbed and betrayed over decisions that we've made or decisions that we didn't make. Interesting. Okay. And the Page of Coins, the Knight of Coins, and the Six of Wands. Okay, so from the brief research that I did do before this, I can't say I'm like a historian. I know everything about this time period. Just a brief Wikipedia. We're going to go over it. See some things that maybe catch my eye, and we go from there. But I do believe when I was reading the article on Wikipedia, sure, you might look at it as not 100% factual. Anyone can put stuff on there. But there was a mention of after Nero's passing, there was like a second coming, or like 4 or 5 different people who said that they were Nero and tried to be like, I am the new reincarnation of Nero, and trying to bring justice or balance or whoever, whatever, back to the Roman Empire. And here it definitely feels like one of those attempts might not have been Nero himself, but he had influence over one of those individuals, where it's like they weren't maybe like they were getting like direct information, or they were trying to like, Nero himself wasn't like the second coming of himself, but he was inspiring others or directing others in a very political manner. It feels like super political, in lots of like dealings, or trying to like vie for power, it feels like, and like trying to influence individuals to kind of carry on his will or his ideas. Not him directly, because if he showed back up, people were going to come after him. He's already had his backstabbing moment. He had his tower, like things kind of fell apart for him. But now it's along the lines of like, okay, so I can't do it myself. But now it's like the influence afterwards with the help of this Queen of Cups up here. And kind of like leading into like taking on this next new era or age. Interesting. Okay. Wild. Okay. So I'm not, and once again, you know what card we haven't seen yet? We haven't seen a death card in all of this. Like I said, I don't think he passed when they say he passed. This is my opinion. Conspiracy, whatever. But I do want to go into a little bit more on Nero's reign here and kind of look at, like, was he this bad boy, tyrannical person? And, like, one, who was Nero? Like, who was he? Because, like, and how was he viewed, essentially, by the people? Like, did history get it right, or did history cover some stiff up, as history tends to do when the winners win and the losers lose? So I want to take a look at just Nero and see, like, who was he? And then how did he view himself? How did, like, the upper echelon view him? And then how did the people of Rome view him? and kind of look a little bit more at just his reign. What was he loved? Was he hated? And then like kind of what was like, and then there's a few things as well that I'm like, was this actually true? Like, because and kind of relating to his mother and his stepbrother and his wife, because there's some alleged things that like he ordered some hits essentially on some people so he could, one, have power, but two, have apparently a sister-in-law allegedly. So first off though, let's take a look at how did Nero view himself. How was Nero viewed by the upper echelon? Ooh, and then how was Nero viewed by the people of Rome? Interesting. Very interesting. So, oh, wow. Okay, so at the head of everything, I see Nero views himself very much as someone who's of the people, who's able to connect with individuals and connect with his people. He sees himself as a very loving, generous person who's able to connect, but gives back, but also receives, and has like a very good relationship, not just within himself, but with what he is doing. So like what he feels that he is doing, he feels that it is right and just. And it's for the good of all, and that people love him, and he likes himself. I think he feels like he was a very good leader or ruler in what he did and how he was able to connect with his people, as well as connect with upper echelon. So with the upper echelon here, it's like they saw him as a very good person when it came to bringing in money or bringing in resources to either amplify their own businesses or even amplify their own standing within the world of which they knew. So like the Three of Coins here, yeah. And with the grapes kind of going everywhere as well too. Like it definitely feels that there was it definitely feels like they feel that he was a very good ruler for them in bringing in resources or doing well business-wise for them. Like they viewed him as a good ally in that sense. With the King of Wands here, though, with his people, interesting. I do feel that there is a little bit of friction here with him and the people of Rome, and within the empire. It definitely feels like this. He feels a little bit. I think a lot of individuals felt that he was. I don't know if he had like scandals essentially when it came to having relations with people that he shouldn't have, or kind of some people will be like he takes his wand all over town, or he kind of has like some escapades that are deemed very risque for the time, because what I'm seeing here, like how the people view him, and they view him as someone who is maybe like hyper, has like a, is very hyper when it comes to, I'm trying to keep this like PG for like YouTube. He's got a high drive, or is like seen as like the pretty boy, or kind of is like takes his wand all over town for anyone and everyone to use, sort of situation type dealio. It's kind of what it feels like here. It's like maybe a really good example to modern day is kind of like a modern day JFK, or like a historical JFK, where it's like conventionally attractive and kind of maybe does things a little bit more risque along those lines. That's kind of like the vibe I'm feeling here when it comes to like how the people view him. So, and he views himself as a good ruler who's able to connect with individuals. So, like, where did it all go wrong? for him, because like he was known as, everyone kind of, history has painted him as a tyrant essentially. So like where did it all go wrong for him? Because it feels like overall this feels like the people, there's people who liked him, there are people who loved him, there are people who hated him for what he kind of stood for with everything. With his risque, very chest out, ready to have a party sort of type of vibe. I also want to take a little bit more here of the upper echelon, a little bit more. So I'm just going to grab the Horror Tarot, just the major arcana to kind of look at. I'm just going to put that up here, because like this is how he is, this is how they feel. Okay, and now what I want to do is I'm just going to pull 3 cards to see like, okay, what was kind of like the energy going on between the two of them, like kind of like what the heck happened for things to kind of go as sideways as they did. And like I said, I'm not a historian. I have a brain that is retaining as much information as possible, but I don't remember everything. So I do apologize if I'm missing things. Please let me know in the comments down below if I am. So, okay. So we have the High Priestess here, the Hierophant, and the Emperor. Well, not shocking. But, so looking at all of this, and like kind of what's going on between him and this upper echelon over here, what I'm feeling is that there was kind of, did he have like different views on how like the church or like how religion was supposed to kind of be like viewed or used or seen within the Roman Empire, or like how it was influenced, or how things were kind of being run? Because with the Hierophant here, as well as the High Priestess and the Emperor card, I feel like there is some tension, potentially maybe with religious entities within the Roman Empire itself, and like within these religious entities were kind of like, what was the downfall here between, the 3 of Coins and with the upper echelon and Nero. So I know that there was a thing with him apparently burning land. I think, yeah, I remember this from the Wikipedia article, and I wrote a little bit of a note, but it's like, they called it like the Great Roman Fire, and allegedly Nero blamed it on Christians at the time, and like apparently did like, allegedly like put them in, like burn them alive, and yeah, it's like really nasty stuff, and like blamed this whole fire on them, and like persecuted like that group of people. And I'm wondering here if there was like, and I'll look into that situation here, but it definitely feels that there might be, just with these are both religious cards in my brain. That's kind of where my head's kind of going. Along with this Emperor here, it's like, with that decision, or like that maybe being painted as his decision, it caused a lot of issues when it came to potentially like other individuals who were like in the upper echelons of the Roman Empire, and maybe they were feeling pressured from, say, like religious entities, like, I don't know if the Vatican was around at this point in time or if it came later, but it definitely feels that there was a lot more, religion played a huge part in why things kind of the downfall happened as big as it did. Religion had a huge part in it, and it feels like either he didn't embrace a certain religion, or like and it feels like he just didn't, for me, it feels like it's like embracing a religion of some sort, or bringing it in, or kind of trying to usher it in. And that's kind of like the issue of why this whole thing turned into like his downfall and everything that kind of came afterwards. Okay. I'm going to look into that situation and see if this great Roman fire was kind of like was like a catalyst for what happened to our dear Nero. Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to use the Major Arcana deck here again. So, this great Roman fire. How is Nero involved with this great Roman fire? And I know this video is a little bit longer, but this is super interesting to me. This is like, let's go into some historical things. Also, please let me know if like I'm missing anything, or if there's like stuff going on that like I maybe have just not hit on, or if like you know like a little bit more. Please leave that in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's just take a look at like the Great Roman Fire and Nero. So we have Nero, which is Strength card. He's being seen as like the strength, the dog in the room that's protecting what's kind of coming. Then we have the fire itself, which is the moon. Okay. Then we have the energy in between the two of them. Okay. So we have the devil there. All right. Now let's kind of just pull some. Okay. Okay, so with the fire itself, the fire is meant to like expose something. And not even just expose, but it feels like the fire itself was meant to be, it feels like a smoke and mirrors a little bit. It's like we're revealing ugly truths or ugly things about X, Y, and Z. With the strength card over here, though, for representing Nero in this situation, it does feel that this feels like a giant setup, and then like with the energy in between, it's like this was a setup in some way, shape, or form for I think Nero to take the fall, especially with the devil card here. It definitely feels like this was this. It might not have been the catalyst, but it definitely feels like a setup in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, and this was going to cause the downfall of Nero here. Definitely causing the downfall, and now it's like we gotta, yeah, the downfall. And now we get to start anew, because out with the old, in with the new. We get to start brand new. And then we have the world down here. It's like, yeah, we gotta restart the cycle. Like, because it's like he's being the bull in the china shop here and not letting us do what we want to do. Yeah, it's like he's not letting us do what we want to do. So now we need to reset. We need to reset and start over with something new. Because up here we still have that fool, and this fire here is trying to cause all the issues, or trying to get rid of them. And here's the Hierophant, here's the church again, or like religion. Maybe not the church, but religion in some way, shape, or form. It's like the religion is like, we need to like get what we want, and you aren't letting us what we want, so you know what, we warned you, and now you are about to face the consequences for that. Yeah, and the Magician, it's like you kind of know that this is coming now because you haven't like gone into our demands, and we're gonna move forward without you, kind of moving forward here. So when it comes to this fire, it definitely feels that it was premeditated. I don't think it was Nero premeditating it, though. This feels a little bit more like a setup in some way, shape, or form, and then history is kind of like rewritten itself to kind of like float a narrative of not just the time, but of what we want kind of moving forward. Interesting. So who is the one who kind of if Nero is the one, if this wasn't a... Okay, I'm going to do one last poll here. And if you guys want to know more about this guy, or you want other historical figures that you want me to read on, leave them in the comment section down below. But I want to look really quick now, and this will be like the last poll, I think, here. And it's going to be kind of looking at Nero, and so who was actually responsible for this great Roman fire? I want to kind of look at and see, like, was it Nero? I don't think it was. Kind of looking at those cards, it feels like there was another force at play. And the reasoning behind And then like looking at more of maybe like a reasoning behind why did they decide to do a fire of all things. And what was the long-term goal of it? What was the short-term goal? And then was that achieved? So, okay. Come on. Oh my goodness gracious, cards. And like I said, history is interesting and very weird, and everything that kind of goes on at certain times, places, and just the political geography of everything. So, okay, so let's take a look here. So, who was originally responsible for the fire? We'll take a look at that. So, the Queen of Wands, a female figure. Okay. Okay, so this is who was originally. Then we'll look at the short-term goal of it. It was to Knight of Cups, gain sympathy, or try to get a emotional reaction. The long-term goals of it, though, was to get judgment upon groups of people or others in some way, shape, or form. It's like we got to put judgment down on. It's like Judgment Day. That was the ultimate long-term goal of this fire. It's like we're putting judgment down upon a certain group of people, but we also want to admit a emotional reaction. Okay, now was the short-term goal achieved? Yes, we were able to get an emotional response or emotional reaction against our King of Wands dude over here, amongst the public, it looks like. And then long-term, did they get it? The goal, what were they trying to do here? Okay, so when it comes to the long-term goal, it feels like they were like the long-term goal was to emit judgment, I think, upon the empire itself or the family, but also I think more just along the lines of we need to kind of break down the power of the Emperor of Rome, the Emperor of Rome essentially is what it felt like. It feels like to me, at least. It's like we want to break down the reputation. We need to break it down. We need to look at it differently. We can't let what has been happening keep happening. Like, it doesn't feel like we're trying to get mistrust. And I think that's the long-term goal of it. And I think do I think it was achieved how they wanted it to? No. Do I think it was achieved through different means? Yes, but what this event did for the whole and like the long term of it kind of branched off into different ways. So it's like the original goal, the best way I can put it is like, say that your long term goal is you want to lose like 50 pounds. But in reality, you didn't lose 50 pounds. Like, your long-term goal is you want to lose 50 pounds. But in reality, within this next year and your goal to try and lose 50 pounds, you actually only lose 30, but you're gaining like 20 pounds in muscle. So like, essentially, you did lose 50. You lost like 50 pounds of fat, but you haven't lost 50 pounds overall because you've gained in other areas. Or it's like it shifted. Your goals shifted to help you in the long term, but just not in the way that you thought it was going to. That's kind of the vibe I'm feeling here. The person and or peoples who are like originally like the person behind this all is definitely a more feminine energy. So like I don't believe that this is. It's not Nero, but it definitely feels like this is someone around him that has kind of like brought in a lot of. They had a mission, they had a goal, they achieved their goal. They got an emotional response out of Nero against the public, who I think saw him in a more negative light. And they got that emotional response that they were looking for. The judgment that they were looking for, though, I think manifested in many different ways. So, And this Queen of Wands figure, I'm wondering if this is someone that was like around him. But what I'm really feeling is that this is like an individual who had power or money or influence within the empire itself, but had like different allegiances when it came to religion, and was working with other people who had the same beliefs to try and, in the long term, get what they wanted. It might not have been happening in their lifetime, but it was going to be happening whether or not they saw it or not. So, with that, that's all I have here for Nero. And if he hit the conspiracy theory that maybe he lived after his initial passing, and I hope you like this. If you did, please hit the like button down below. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. I have new content coming out all the time. And I'm really enjoying doing a lot of these more historical conspiracy theories. So if you have any, please leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about them. Otherwise, thank you so very, very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!